Right guys, today I'm going to be focusing on Vesalius and Harvey, two of our key main figures during this period. To start off, I'm going to give you a little bit of reminder on Galen. So remember, in this topic we're primarily getting our top answers by showing progression, and to show progression it's all really moving away from one figure, and that's Galen, whether that's his theories, whether that's his mistakes, or whether that's the church who, remember, in the medieval period pushed forward his ideas. So a reminder, Galen again worked in during the Roman period. It's the theory of opposites. This is the basis of all medical knowledge early on. Remember as well, his production of textbooks, this is primarily made from his testings on animals. This is important when we look at Vesalius, because Galen, his anatomy of the body is based on things like pigs. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go forward. As always, guys, as I go through this, it's a good idea to pause it, have a look at what's on the slide as well, because I'm not just going to read off it. There's extra information there for you guys to follow. Right, so what's up with physicians during this period? Well, similarly to the medieval period, they are trained at universities. The courses aren't really changing. They do start to change later on when people like William Harvey come into it. I think it's by about 1673 when Harvey's books are starting to be really read and produced. But Galen is still quite widely read up until mid to late 17th century. So just keep that in mind. This is when we're answering this question. Nothing really changes in the cause of disease and treatment, prevention. This whole period is all about knowledge and understanding. Okay. Right, lectures still in Latin, but again, new ideas are coming forward, and again, little hands-on training. Remember, dissection had been banned, but as the power declined, it's legalized. But a lot of universities didn't push this idea of studying anatomy of the body. This is where our two guys, Harvey and Vesalius, really come into it. And again, factors like the printing press, Royal Society are real movers for progression during this period. It allows doctors to then push forward their own ideas, their own theories. Right, Vesalius, our first guy. Just a bit of background. He is interested in the human body from the off. If you're looking at key books to be aware of, his 6 anatomical tables, which show different parts of the human body, is really important. But the biggest one you guys would probably be more aware of is the fabric of the human body, where he really illustrates his findings of what the anatomy of the human body should look like. Now, if there's one thing really to note down for Vesalius, it's this, because this is where you get the marks. This is what I'd be looking for in evidence to show progression, to show more understanding. And this is, he finds 300 mistakes, and these mistakes include, the lower jaw was in one part, not two. The vena cava did not lead to the liver. Men did not have one fewer pair of ribs. So have a look at, try and remember, a few of these, and you'll be fine covering Vesalius, because that's the evidence that you'd need. Remember, you need to then explain why that shows better understanding, and this is, this breaking away from Galen, breaking away from the power of the church, but this is your evidence, guys, okay? So please be aware of it, make sure you note it down. Right, so what does Vesalius do? He encourages doctors to base their work on dissection, not old books. Similar to Sydenham, remember, when he's wanting the doctors to base their diagnosis on observation and not on Galen. So it's the same kind of recurring movement away. The anatomy of the body, as we're aware of, Vesalius' big thing. This is where his advancement of medicine is really important, and the rich illustrations of his books. He, as you can see on the right there, there's an illustration on fabric of the human body. If you go back to an earlier lesson, an earlier video, you'll see the old photos or the old illustrations of the human body, it's night and day. It shows the advancement, more accuracy. Do have a look at the little mind map there of Vesalius. Things like him being a trailblazer is really important. Trailblazer is really important come when we get to William Harvey. Right, Harvey. So, again, a doctor for James I. That is important because this gives him kind of some credibility. It's more important later when he becomes personal physician to James I's son, Charles I. He studies the body again, similar to Vesalius, and he carries this out publicly. So in his anatomical theatre, he will demonstrate his research on the anatomy of the body. So how do we get the marks with Harvey? We need to demonstrate what Galen knew and what Galen taught and what was written and put down in Galen's textbooks. Remember, 350 textbooks of Galen. That was really dominant in the medieval period and coming into the Renaissance. So Galen, he says that the blood was made in the liver as a product of what the person ate, and that flowed through the body to provide energy and was burned out. Now, Harvey figured out to do this, you'd need 1,800 litres of blood a day to survive. So this is Harvey thinking, right, Galen must be wrong. Harvey's really influenced by Vesalius. This bleeds into the whole argument of Vesalius being a trailblazer. Really gets the ball rolling with anatomy. That's important to think about as well. If you've got a 16-mark question, who is the most important person for progress in medicine during the Renaissance period? You'll be given a good paragraph on Harvey showing why he's important, good paragraph on Vesalius maybe showing why he's important, good paragraph on Sydenham showing why he's important. But you've got to think, your argument would be who to you is the most significant. And factors like Vesalius being one of the first people to really show the mistakes of the anatomy of the body, that looks good in a judgment. That shows you're really thinking about the question. Okay. Right, so Harvey bounces off Vesalius's idea that or theory that the veins of the body contain valves. He practices this by trying to pump liquids the opposite direction, but it just doesn't work, showing that blood only flowed towards the heart, which goes against Galen's ideas. Again, Harvey is also he's influenced by these mechanical water pumps. So he's interested in fire engines and especially how this pumping action gets the water out there. He figures this is kind of how the human body works. So you're thinking about influence here. Again, good for your evidence. So Harvey, he dissects human corpses to test his ideas. He comes up with the idea, he proves that arteries and veins were linked together in one system. Harvey also proved that the heart pumped blood, not both blood and pneuma. So this is one of Galen's ideas. Pneuma meaning like the air of life, okay, that goes around the body with blood. Harvey shows it's just blood. Blood's the only thing. Again, another bit of your evidence you can bring into this. So again, when we're looking at importance, Vesalius really shows that Galen can be proven wrong. So Harvey again is bouncing off these ideas. Remember, think about this stuff when you're looking at importance. But Harvey's also, as I said before, Charles I's personal physician. Credibility. Don't underestimate that, because without that, he maybe won't have been listened to as much. With this credibility, with this backing of the king, similar to the Royal Society and the way they get the Royal Charter, people will listen to Harvey. He has respect on his name. Right, so why is Harvey so important? Again, this is really us analysing Harvey and thinking, right, how does he really progress medicine? He has his own book, The Anatomical Account of the Motion of the Heart and Blood in Animals, which is the start of modern physiology. So that's important. You start off one of these modern sciences. He really encourages people to study the body and look at dissection more. So he really encourages that. He also, again, proves that the liver did not digest food to create blood. A big thing on Harvey, though, remember, and with all of them, there's nothing really here about medical treatment. It's all about understanding, knowledge, progression, and understanding of medicine during this period. It's not about cause, it's not about treatment or prevention, it's about understanding and knowledge. Okay? Right, so I'll try to keep that relatively short, a bit longer than I wanted. Hopefully you found it useful. Again, guys, this is all just to help you out come the GCSE. Use it alongside your other bits of revision. Don't just rely on it. Please read through the slides as well. Okay, I don't just generally read off these, so make sure you're taking notes from the slides themselves, not just purely listen to me. All right, thank you. See you next time.